Welcome to Veda 2018. I'm Angie Nash, and this is day 3. I woke up in a tailspin. I had come out of the well of sleep, drowning in the angst of a complex, immersive nightmare. I couldn't breathe. And then I couldn't not breathe. I was hyperventilating. So I did what I always do when I'm trying to shake off the vestiges of my night's sleep. I reached for my phone. And since yesterday was such a messed up day, I had 2 Veda posts waiting for me to catch up on. Those of Artimage and Dr. Terawatt. You can see the links below, and thank you both for the unintentional help. By the time I got to the end of both videos, I could breathe normally again. So I hauled myself to the shower, knowing that I had a list of phone calls to make, and later to go out and pick up my nephew from school and hang out with him until bedtime. For those of you who know me, you know that my kids are my raison d'etre. They are what keep me going at my worst moments in life. The whole time I was in the shower, one thing kept repeating over and over in my head. I'm not a crusader. Allow me to provide a little bit of context. We all have battles in our life that we fight. Sometimes daily battles, sometimes seasonally, sometimes just as things crop up. And sometimes we just want to give up and give in. I hit my limit once. I was dying a slow death, or so it seemed to me. Death by 1,000 goldfish, I call it. Because goldfish aren't deadly, at least not in 1s and 2s. But what do you think would happen if someone tossed you down a well and then dumped fish after fish down the well with you? Not in 1s and 2s, but buckets and buckets of them. One after another after another. Barring some sort of superhuman feat, you'd drown. Death by 1,000 goldfish. That's how I feel right now. That's how I feel more often than I care to admit. And I get through it because I'm stubborn and equipped with a support system and coping skills and self-analysis tools, which mean that I can see the darkness coming and am much better suited to shouting in its face like a Klingon shouting to warn those in Stovacor that a warrior is about to join the ranks of the dead. Okay, maybe not the best analogy, but still. But Angie, what has this got to do with crusades, you're wondering? People, well-meaning people I'm sure, will often suggest that those of us who struggle with obstacles in our personal lives, with mental health, with physical health, that we find something to throw ourselves into. A crusade to join. A banner to get behind. Something to help Something to help drive us and eat up the time between personal crises and to try and keep that darkness at bay. Those same people look at me. They see my strength, my ambition, my drive, and they start down a road of, Angie, use that passion. You're always saying that you want to make a difference. There are so many causes that could use your voice. Guys, seriously. Do I look like a crusader to you? Oh, right, I do. Because you see my strength, my drive, my ambition. Here's what you don't see. You don't see me fighting my own body every day. You don't see me fighting my own mind every day. You don't see me fighting battles on multiple fronts every day, dropping threads that are supposed to be part of the tapestry that's supposed to include my physical health, my mental health, my family, my loved ones, my home, my pets, my life. You don't see the courage it takes to get out of bed every single day. You don't see the fear that clutches my throat every time I have to make a phone call to some branch of bureaucracy to attempt to get the help that I need to cover my prescription needs, my dental needs, my therapy needs, my transit needs, my basic living needs. And it's never just one and done. No, that would be too easy. Angie, don't you know that you have to not only be your own advocate with each and every one of these branches of aid, but that you also have to follow up over and over, leaving messages and returning calls and calling back over and over and over and over because no one is fighting for you but you. You don't see me programming reminders to call back the offices that haven't gotten back to me. Not days later, not weeks later, not months later. You don't see me tensing up every time I have to make another phone call because this might be the one time that someone loses their patience with my incessant calls and takes their bad day out on me. You don't see the 1,000 battles a day that I win or lose against my own demons or against the triggers that set my PTSD off to the point where I am genuinely crippled with fear. You don't see the camel's back break over the stupidest thing, the least little thing, and then me dashing to the bathroom to puke my guts up, trashing my back in the process, and if I'm really lucky, wetting myself. You don't see the angry tears as I clean up the messes. You don't see me shutting the lid so tight on my emotions that I would do a Vulcan proud. You don't see the tenseness in the muscles of my entire body that as I keep myself tightly bound lest I throw something across the room in frustration. Nah, you see the smiles. You see the celebrations when things go right for a change. You see what I want you to see. You see a mighty warrior with well-kept armor and banners. You come to the conclusion that I should lend my lance and my voice to the greater good. Well, I'm here today to remind you that I'm not a crusader. That you have no idea how long it took me to buff the dents and scrapes and rust out of that armor. No idea how many sleepless nights I've spent mending and embellishing that banner. And I'm not unique. There are many armies of one. There are many polished combatants out there who practically need a time machine to get done everything in a day that they need to do just to keep their heads above water. Some are single parents. Some are married parents of many children. Some are entrepreneurs. Some are CEOs. Some are content creators. Some are 9-to-5ers. So here's my call to arms to you, O criers of the Crusades. The next time you consider suggesting to the polished combatants in your life that they lend their lance to such and such a crusade, instead, offer to squire for them. Offer to join their army. Hell, offer to help them shed the armor. I am strong. I am a fighter. But I am not a crusader. I am sick to death of fighting. I just want to have peace and quiet, to watch the kids play in the yard, to tend my long fallow fields. So I beseech you, look around you, find the ones polishing their armor, and lend a hand or an ear. Be a source of support for someone who looks like the pillar that will stand the test of time. See past the smiles. Be there for someone like me, someone like her, someone like him, someone like